Okay, so good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining for today's class. Welcome to class 3. We are going to start today's session on a lot of things, a lot of important things are going to happen in today's session. We don't have any guest faculties, but we do have some interesting things aligned for today's class. So having said this, please let me know by chat if you're able to hear properly. And yeah, good evening, Vignesh. So just post yes, no, some smileys, or you can just put reactions button. Okay, great. So people, I see that we are around 200 of them in the class now. The people who are in the second Zoom can shift to the first Zoom so that it's easier for you to listen to me and also interact with me, because second Zoom link is not interactive enough. So next thing is, what we'll do today is, before anything, let's have a breakout session for 5 minutes. I'll randomly assign all of you to the breakout sessions so that you can go interact among each other. And then I may create, you are 200 people. So I'll create some breakout sessions for you guys. Please go and talk to each other, say hi, introduce yourself if you're from different class, and then I'll call you back after maybe 5 minutes, and then we'll start off with our classes. So here you go, we'll create a breakout session, and then I'm opening all breakout sessions. So each room will be having around 10 or 15 of them. So yeah. So I've created around 8 to 10 people in each room, and you can just go to the respective breakout room session. Okay, people in Zoom 2, please go back to Zoom 1. There are still seats available for you to join. So we have breakout sessions for people who have already joined before. So please go introduce yourself, do whatever you want, talk to your classmates from different branches, and within a couple of minutes, I'll call you guys to come back. So all of you are coming out of breakout room sessions. Please come back and then we'll start our class. Okay, let's start the class. And I see that we have almost 300 students. So guys, please, if you're in class 2, there are some more, I mean Zoom 2 sessions, there are some more seats available. Please go there and join in Zoom 1 session. So having said that, again, welcome back to the class 3. I hope you enjoyed your breakout sessions. Please note few of the guidelines which I have to give for this class, and please abide to that, because it's very tough for me to manage such a huge class. So you should understand and you should cooperate for you to get the maximum out of it. So some of the instructions is please come on time. So when the class starts at 6 p.m., make sure that you are there available at 5:55 at least. And then after that, you may not be having, then creating these breakout sessions and things like that will be a little tough. So make sure that you should have proper, come on time. That's one of the discipline which any entrepreneur should learn. So time is essence. If you go to your venture capitalist that little late, and they'll say, oh, you are really late, so you won't be allowed in the class or in the meeting, whatever you have set up. And clean up your Canvas account. I'll come to the Canvas account very soon, and you should clean up. Many of you have I'll tell you what I mean by clean up. So be interactive on Canvas. There are discussion forums. Every week I'll set up discussion forums. Please go and, interact with each other, and then make sure that you have you follow each other. There is like button to like if somebody has commented really well, or you can counter them saying, no, you're wrong, you're good. This, you should have very, very healthy discussions in Canvas. That's when you'll get to know how others are dealing with, what are others' thoughts, and how you can contribute in the class. If you're not interactive, I'm sure you won't get back anything from this class. It's just that I'll be talking and you won't be having any contribution to the class. Then gradings will be done soon. Who I have submitted till today, I've graded both your video assignments, which was not of any marks. And the second assignment, I'm totally super impressed with the assignments, what you guys have done. I was totally surprised the way formally you guys have framed your logos. You have understood the concept which was taught in class. And also, very interestingly, you were able to do amazing work with very less guidance, I would say. I was impressed with the way you have used founders.com, where you were able to make yourself a CEO and somebody else as some other founder, and 4 of you, rest of them as employee. That was really impressive. And in case you have submitted late, I'll do the gradings maybe in a day or two. And any questions regarding Canvas assignments help other teams to understand. That's the whole reason we have made this um, Telegram group, as well as Canvas. Canvas is a discussion group where you can ask questions, somebody else can answer. It's not always I should be answering. You can be, your friends can be your teacher, your friends can be your students. So just try to talk to each other and make sure that you make sure that you talk to each other and solve each other's queries. If somebody has already, so somebody, time and again, people are posting, how do I put the logo? It's super easy. There is one small image. You have to just click on that and you'll be able to put your logos there, and it's super easy. Many of you have done. I'm totally impressed with your second assignments, all of you, except few of them who just put the Google Docs and all, which was a little irritating to go to the another tab. Instead of that having everything, the evaluation becomes easier because it's a large class which I have to do the evaluation. And we are introducing a special sessions for students, because I'm seeing a lot of potential in all of you guys. You're doing amazing work. Seriously, you're really doing amazing work. So I thought, let's introduce a new special sessions, which is not mandatory. It's optional for all of you to come and attend. We call it as informal CEOs check-in. So this is like additional input if you're getting, in case you want to do something, for example, I could say that if you want to get something on you want to know some concepts, you want to know that how does this work, you have some questions about your problem which you're trying to solve, your idea you're trying to implement, and things like that. That's when we will do more of one-to-one interaction, and we'll restrict this informal CEO check-ins to very limited number. Unlike the class which has 500 people, we'll be having very less students for that, and we'll be interacting. So I'm scheduling it only in the weekends so that it's easier for you, so that you don't miss any other classes. So the first session we'll have either on Saturday or Sunday. By tonight I'll be mailing you the registration link for that, and you're welcome to attend this informal CEO check-ins. And next week we have a guest faculty who will be talking about intellectual property rights for startups. What are the available schemes for you? How you can make sure that as a startup, what are the fast track techniques you can get your patent filed? How important is a startup having a patent? How will it affect them in their rising funds, and so on and so forth? And also Professor Michael Freeby from Germany, he has agreed to, he's also an amazing entrepreneur. He's amazing session. So he'll also be joining us on 28th. And then third week of October, we have someone from Startup Karnataka, Government of Karnataka. I've invited them to interact with you guys and tell them what are the schemes Government of Karnataka is doing, especially for startups, especially for student startups. What are the schemes? What are the facilities available for you guys? So before I jump into Canvas, let me ask if you guys have any questions. You can post on chat window about anything which I've discussed in this slide. No questions? Okay, if you have questions, just post on your chat window. So let me go to my slide. First thing is I want to show you how you should log in. I'm not sure why I'm showing this, but I definitely want all of you to know how do you log in. See, there are two ways how you can log in. First way is you can give your email ID and password here and then log in, which you have created, or you can directly go to Google. Even the same thing holds good for Zoom. Go to Google here and then go to the email ID which you're using. So I'm using this BMSC email ID. Just click on this and it will automatically get logged in my Canvas account. And this is what will pop up in your account also, the number of courses you have taken and so on and so forth. So please use this way or the other way. Use only one single way to do it. I've seen multiple people using both the ways and you will be created with two IDs, which is really tough to manage in this huge class. And second thing is, once you go inside the course, you have to do a little bit of housekeeping stuff. What do I mean by housekeeping stuff is, go to your account and click on profile. So click on profile and you will be able to change a lot of things. Edit profile and you can say what is your name, or where you pronounce, who are you, and write your biography if you want, write your LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever profiles you want. This is one of the way which I want. Even though if you change here, but your classmates may not be able to see the way you are seeing. And second thing I want is whenever you go for settings, here also you can change your name. I have written my name, display name. I want you to write as 1BM and whatever is your USN number and your name. Everywhere I want your USN number and name. And many of your names are blank. Many of your names are not with USN, and it's really tough to understand because once we have all your grades, if I download a grade sheet from this software, when I submit to COE office, it will be really tough for me to find your USN numbers. So I'll give a deadline till tomorrow to do all this housekeeping stuff. I'll give you some of the examples which really is really tough for our faculties to actually go and do some of the evaluations for you guys. Please take care of this by tomorrow. So I'll go to here people. So when I go here, see there are still 28 people who have not accepted the invitation. She Prasang from Triple E, Electrical Engineering, his name is missing. Saujanya is really good. There are some more pending invitation. Puttaraju might have joined using something else. So please let me know so that I will delete this account. Abhishek K has not joined. And Aditi, really good. Your name is there. You have your profile picture. Very good profile, I would say. And Anushk, I don't know who this is, Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering. Please make sure that you accept or you let me know. I'll delete this account. And these are some of the things. How Nidishri Arun, Nidishri from Telecom. Please ensure that you change your name here in 1BM 17 or 18T0, whatever it is, and change this name. Don't do that. Without that, it will be really tough for me to, do anything of that kind. So ensure that you have all the things available. And another thing I want you to understand is yeah, there are a few more people. Please try to finish all of them by end of the day and end of tomorrow. Kirtana, please change your name. Make it USN and name. And Pavan, please change your name, USN and name. And Lakshya and so on and so forth. I can't keep on going this list. It's really a huge list. So this is one thing which I definitely want all of you to actually do that. So let me go back to the slides. And the slide is right here. Yeah. Okay. When we okay now this few of the announcements which I did. Please ensure that you have everything in place whenever you try to do this. Okay. Any doubts till now? Any questions? Please post it on the window. Can anyone attend special sessions, or we have to attend only if you have doubt and want to talk? Any one of you can attend, but you have to register and attend. It's not open for everyone. So I'll post the link on Canvas. You can come and attend special sessions. This session is only if you're really passionate about entrepreneurship. You want to ask some questions which you could not ask in the class because it's a huge class. That will be a smaller class. So this is out of the interest, out of extra time which I'm putting for you guys, and your time also we need for that. So Manoj, please type the questions. I'll allow all of you to speak at the end of the session, but not now. If you have any questions, please keep on typing. So let's start with the class. And today I want to tell you is that we'll be talking something known as disciplined entrepreneurship. Discipline is very important. So that's why the book named is called as Disciplined Entrepreneurship by Bill Olet, who's the author of this book. There are 24 steps which you have to follow to become successful entrepreneur. That's what MIT came up with this concept. So that's what we are going to learn today. And this is what are the steps which you'll be learning throughout this semester. And we may not be able to complete all of them in depth, but at least few of the steps we'll be covering in depth. I will be giving examples for each one of the steps in this. And fortunately, I'm getting all the help from MIT itself. They shared all their materials, their assignments, their worksheets, everything. This is whatever we are teaching right now. The same thing is taught at MIT as New Enterprise, the course name is. For the same thing, we are also using the same material, same slides, everything. So I'm in touch with MIT for that. So these are the steps which you'll be following. It will start from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 till 24. These are different steps. And very nicely, this is curated so that anywhere it will work. There are little bit changes which I'll be talking now and then, which is little different from what MIT is teaching. Let's go to the next slide. And one thing, entrepreneurship is something which, do we have sufficient understanding of entrepreneurship? Do we have sufficient understanding of this topic of entrepreneurship? That's why this book was actually written a few years ago by Bill Olet. So let's understand the definition of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship, the formation of a new venture that produces a product. It should be a product. It's not something which already existing and you start selling it out. That's called as business, not really an entrepreneurship, which includes, in my definition, that is Bill Olet's definition, an offering as well, that creates some value for which your new venture can capture some value to make it economically sustainable. It's not just sustainable. See the word economically sustainable. Just read this sentence time and again when you get these class slides, and you should be able to actually try to understand the sentence in a whole. But end of the class, I'm sure you'll understand what I'm trying to speak. So let's further define entrepreneurship into two different segments. First segment is SME, and second segment is IDE. What SME? So both are entrepreneurship, but if you ask me, I'll call one as business, another one as entrepreneurship. So business entrepreneurship, I'm differentiating, but actually it's not. It's totally few of them have their different kind of definitions. So SME is nothing but small, medium enterprises, which is very local market focused. I can give you an example. You have gone to a college canteen, right? So that is nothing but SMEs. What is SME? College canteen, restaurants, dry cleaners, or some kind of services, some jobs which is more like your Xerox shop, the one which is behind the college, a photocopy shop. All those are SMEs. They do make money. they are also entrepreneurs. So my dad had business. He was also entrepreneur. The way entrepreneur he's doing versus what I'm doing is totally different. So what is the actual crux here in SMEs is delta T is short, which means that you want to make some profit. It takes very less time. You have canteen within 3 months, you can make profit, because food business, medical business have like 3x, 4x profit. So if he's selling idli for 10 rupees, then which means that he has invested maybe 3 or 4 or 5 rupees, 50% is the profit. And linear growth, which means that growth, if you see here, versus whatever investment you're doing versus whatever revenue or cash flow you're doing, it's linear, and less investment is required. If you want to start a canteen, say in BMSE, you have to pay some rent, and you have to pay some expenses to your employees, and you have to pay for vessels, gas stove, that, this, and all together maybe 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakhs maximum. And then you have everything ready. Your hotel or your restaurant or your canteen is ready. But that's not the case if you go for ID. ID is innovation driven entrepreneurship. And whereas this is local market, it's only for BMSE. Outside people, very less people farm. Whereas IDE innovation is global market focused, which means that you'll have people all over world. It's not just, you will start off with something known as beachhead market, which you learn in this class, which is very small market. And after that market, you will slowly creep into other markets, right? And then I'll tell you more about it. Here it is products with innovation at core. Core is very important. What do you mean by core? For example, core branch for you guys is electronics and communication, medical electronics, telecommunication, electrical instrumentation. That's your core branch. Similarly, there is a core for your company also. There is something. Core can be patent. For example, if you want patent, it can be core. And or you have something unique business model. That's your core. We'll learn about core a little later in future classes. And importantly, if you see here, okay, I can't see what is written there. Yeah. Importantly, if you see here, delta T is long, which means that the time taken for you to success, it's not that Mark Zuckerberg, he did invent Facebook and overnight he became famous. Though the app is very easy, if you see, you can replicate maybe a couple of days, you can replicate the app, but that's not really true by the time you actually put it entirely there. Next is exponential growth. Here, the growth is really exponential. There will be little dip, which means that more investment, lot of investment you have to run like a canteen, but you can become really exponentially grow in terms of revenue, in terms of cash flow, which is how much is the cash flow which is happening, which will happen in millions of dollars, and jobs. The number of jobs you'll be creating at initial point will be very less, but once you expand your business, because it's a global market, it will go very high. So what is definition of innovation? See, the course is named as Innovation for Entrepreneurship. What is this innovation for entrepreneurship? Innovation is invention into commercialization. If you just come up with a fancy, I had a student who did a fancy robo, you just think the robo moves, but what's the commercial application of that? That was really lacking. So you are doing out of your joy, you're doing something for yourself, just for solving some very minor problem which nobody wants. That's just invention. That's wow, invention, but you can't make money. If you're making money and also you have some invention, then we call it as innovation. Very simple formula to remember, no complicated. Even if you hate maths, you can understand this very easily. What does successful entrepreneurship look like? Okay, if you have invention, you're converting into commercialization. That's called successful entrepreneurship. Or commercialization is available. For example, restaurants is available, but you are getting some kind of invention, that is using Swiggy, okay, or using some like Food Panda or Uber Eats and things like that. That is nothing but invention you're doing, but commercialization already exists. So either way, if you do either invention, it's not okay, you can't make money. If you do commercialization, just it's like any traditional regular work which you do. But if you combine both of them, multiply invention with commercialization, you will be able to do amazing. That is known as innovation. Okay. So which is a career option you want? You want jungle, you want dirt road, or you want highway? If you want highway, then that's something known as SME. So you just go very easily and things like that. But if you have only dirt road, it's really tough, but maybe you'll be reaching a destination with little tougher. But if you have just jungle is also fine, but you don't know where to go, what to do, and things like that. So what is the best option? Start with jungle. You don't know what you're doing right now. All of you are in jungle. All of us are in jungle. So after that you are in woods. To come out of the woods, you have to pass through some of the roads which are dirt roads, and finally you'll hit the highway when you can fly really high, and maybe you'll also go to airport and fly also. That's one of the ways of career options in entrepreneurship. One question which Bill Ollett, who thought about, the author of the book and also professor at MIT, he taught that, can entrepreneurship be taught? Can we teach entrepreneurship? Because people don't have in their gene, they don't have, their fathers are not entrepreneurs, their mothers are not entrepreneurs. Is it something that you plan everything when the baby is in the womb, that you are an entrepreneur when the baby is in the womb? No, that's not how it works. Bill Ollett said that yes, we can actually try to teach the entrepreneurship. That's very important. And there are few things which you should know. Elements of craft is, whenever you do think of entrepreneurship, you should have some unique features. We'll come back to this. But what Bill Ollett did was, there are, all these books are really, really amazing books. Crossing the Chasm and Inside the Tornado, Blue Ocean Strategy, Inbound Marketing, Lean Startup, Eric Rice. It's one of the good business model generation, so on and so forth. And there's a lot of amazing people. Steve Blank, one of the awesome entrepreneur. I've given this his website in your course material also. Just go through that amazing guy. You should really think of. So all these people have done, but they have different tools. All the tools have been put together into one single book known as Disciplined Entrepreneurship. That's what we are going to learn today. There are 24 steps which you have to learn. So let's go in depth, very small one word about each course. So how is this divided? Is there are 6 segments you should know. Okay, this 24 steps have been divided into 6 segments. How do I identify these 24 steps divided into 6 segments? Is if you identify the same color like this, the one in blue is first segment, and the second segment is in red, and then third segment is in gray, and then green, and then you have in orange, and then one more in purple. So these are the 6 segments each entrepreneur should follow, or I wouldn't say should follow, I would say that if you follow this, the chances of your success of the entrepreneurship is very high. Who is your customer? So that's your first module which you should learn, a first block which you should learn, which are in all these things. We'll try to cover a couple of steps in this today, or more than 2 also if the time permits. So who is your customer? Customer is someone whom, how do you identify? So this 6 modules, or this 6 steps will teach you in the module who is your customer, how to identify your customer, which you guys are right now trying to, swim in that pool. So first is market segmentation. You have to divide your market so that you actually target the one particular market to start off. That's called as beachhead market, which we'll learn a little more about it. Build an end user profile. End user profile or persona is called as. End user profile is something, for example, if you're selling toys, your end user persona can be some kid who is of 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, depending on your market. Calculate the TAM size, total addressable market size, which will be, though it says addressable market, you may think it's number, but it's actually in dollars, which you have to calculate, or in rupees. Profile of the persona, we'll come to that, how you can make a profile of persona, and identify your next 10 customers, or your next customer is another one. So all these things is part of who is your customer. The second step, second module, which has around 5 steps, is what can you do for your customers? When you have identified your customer, first step, you have identified who is your customer. Second step is you have to identify what can you do for your customer. What does it mean? Full life cycle use case, high level product specification, quantify the value proposition, define your core. Remember, we will be using core time and again, like your patent is a core. Chart your competitive position. You are not just alone. Ola competitor is Uber. In US, if you go, Uber competitor is Lyft. Again, if you come to Indonesia, Singapore and all, for them, it's another guy apart from Uber. So Uber is there everywhere, but they have to define their competitive position. How are they different from others? How does your customer acquire your product? That's another one. So decision-making unit, paying customer, how do you map, sales process? This is another module. And last but one module you have is how do you make money off your product? So once you have everything, you should start making money. You should design a business model. What kind of business model is really apt for you? Setting your pricing framework. You should set your price for your product. Calculate the lifetime value of the customer. How old can your customer can stay with you? For example, today you launch the product, can he stay for 10 years? After 10 years, how will you retain him? After 1 year, how will you retain? And your product will become obsolete. Your product doesn't have life. How will you really ensure that they will stay for a long time? Calculate cost of customer acquisition. That's another Coca. Coca is one more step which you'll be learning. All these things, don't worry as of now. Just understand the steps, but we'll come back to that each step in detail over the class. How do you design and build your product is another one. Have you designed a product? What are the key assumptions? Some of the assumptions we think, okay, this guy will take, this guy won't take, and all. You have to test those key assumptions. MVVP, minimum viable product, you would have heard, but there's another one, business is added. What is that minimum viable business product? Show that the dogs will eat the dog food. What does this mean? We'll learn in that step. That's very interesting chapter for you guys. So all the six things what you saw is, the first one is to know who is your customer, right? So first module. Second module you have is what can you do for your customer? Third module, how does your customer acquire your product? The flow of how they'll acquire. How can you make money off your product? How do you build your product? And how do you scale your business? These are few of the six modules defined in 24 steps. By end of the semester, you'll be learning all the steps, at least with one examples, and the same 24 steps you'll be applying throughout your semester. So it should be very fast. I will be running fast. You should also run fast. Dedicate extra time. That's why you have 6 of them, which means that, or 5 of you. 5 of you can do wonders. You know, each one of you can take 1 or 2 steps, parallelly work so that you can finish this assignments on time, all of them. Yeah. So this is the summary of it. Who is your customer? What can you do for your customer? How does your customer acquire product? How do you make money? How do you design, build out your product? How do you scale your business? Okay. One thing I want to make sure is in this course, I won't be teaching you how to fish. Rather than I'll focus on catching a fish, even the same thing I was taught in MIT. So we'll not learn how to eat. I won't give you fish first and first. Little further, I won't say how to fish. I will ensure that you catch a fish. Okay, I'll tell you a route where you can catch a fish. Okay, so it's not that we are just leaving it. Primary goal is not to catch a fish, but make sure that you put everything, and then you ensure that you get your focus and all the what are the equipments, what are the tools required, how do you do that, and things like that. So we help you create entrepreneurs, not companies. So this is not the actually. So that's why we had this team names, weird names, amazing team names you guys have come up with, and things like that. So there is business plan. You'll be learning how to write a business plan, how you do that, and things like that. So all these things, it's been actually open framework, which has been refined. All the steps which I've told is summarized in this, entrepreneurship education framework. You need not worry about this slide. It looks a little complicated, but the skills what you learn, maybe end of the day, at least maximum skills in this slide you'll be learning at the end of the class. One thing, if you are really scared about IPR, this is not the class for you. Please be confidential, and please don't say it's confidential, it's proprietary, my idea. You know, remember in the last class also I told, we won't steal your idea. None of your classmates will do, because they have their own idea. You share your idea, you will get for 2 ideas. If you don't share, you'll have only 1 idea. That's the philosophy we are adapted in class. And do not say that this is very confidential, I can't share, you can't use that, and I can't publish, and things like that. All of them in this course will be published, and it will make public very soon once the course overs. At least very few of the things of your course, so that it gets maximum visibility. If somebody is interested, they can come and collaborate with you and start a company. Some of the investor may be interested, and they can come and talk to you. Okay. So what should we be? Should you target on market-driven approach, or target customer-driven, or customer-driven? So we'll understand this by end of some of the slides. So at the first day, don't think that you'll be able to come up with amazing idea. That's really not possible. It took almost 1 week for us, 24/7 working. We got that idea. So don't think that you will be able to do something really amazing by end of the day or end of the semester. Steve Jobs said that I'm actually as proud of the things we haven't done as the things I have done. You know, that's really interesting. And a brave man says such words. Okay. So let's do this 24 steps in 6 themes. I will tell you, these are some of the companies who have really used that 24 steps and come out. I will be calling all my classmates, my alumni. We have really around 500, 600 alumni pools who have taken this course. We are very strong community. For end of the semester, I'll be calling many of our alumni to come and evaluate your proposals because they know the steps. They have been gone through, they have their own successful startups. So your SE will be evaluated by them. So be careful, you attend classes, understand this course and things like that. Okay. What is successful entrepreneurship? You have the right spirit like pirate and Navi skills. So that will get you really a nice kind of entrepreneurship that is successful. So be very passionate about what you're trying to do, and be very passionate about your, have skills of very important skill sets. So both of them together will give you successful entrepreneurship. Okay, this is very important slides. Please keep a check on this. I will upload one Excel sheet for you guys. This is how the Excel sheet will look. Okay, I hope you're able to see. I know it's little blur, but when I give you the Excel sheet, exactly the same Excel sheet I'll give. What are you supposed to do from this week? Try to fill some random values. This I will evaluate at the end of the semester. So I would at least see at this point of time, whatever you understand here, just fill it up. So that will be week 1, say whatever, this is week 3. Then week 4, you'll refine this after you learn something. So some of the steps what we teach, again, you'll refine. Again, in week 5, you'll refine this. So this is a refine and iterative process. Remember, this will carry 10 marks for your group. Each group will be awarded 10 marks at the end of the semester. But it's not that you just directly come up with evolve with one discipline entrepreneurship canvas. This is called as DE canvas, and this has to be evolved every week. It's not that you'll come up with one or something like that. At the end of the semester, you'll have amazing business canvas. That is this at the end of the semester, and you should have saved this as version 1, version 2, version 3, version 4. I'll give all the instructions on the slide for you guys. By end of the, I mean, I'll upload it on Canvas. You can just check. So a few of them, why are you in business? There are some examples also in this slides. You can just check that. You don't understand, leave it blank, but I'm sure not all of you will understand everything. By end of the semester, at least half of it you should be able to fill with some or the other approximate value. Then copy the same sheet, edit it, and make sure it is good for next week. So every week, at least every week, you try to update this. More updation, more better, you'll get more good company. Okay, just see the slide sometime at your ease. Okay. Okay. So let's come to the steps. Why do you think at this point of time, if you see entrepreneurship, I mean, we are a little late, I would say, that we are offering this course at this point of time. But if you see 5 years back, 10 years back itself, there's a lot of boom and a lot of things which are happening in terms of entrepreneurship. What do you think is the most overrated thing in entrepreneurship? See, you have idea. Yes, that's very important. Without that, the pie won't be complete. Market is very important. If you don't have market, nothing will happen. Execution is another important stuff. What is execution? Execution in the sense, how do you complete, how do you conclude this entire entrepreneurship is also important. And team, as I said, your team is really important. I saw the discussion forum with, I guess, Rishika, someone has commented really well. Please go through the discussion forum of week 2 and see that the way she has commented that how important the team is. All of us are coding. No, that doesn't work. One of you are coding. That's why you had this assignment of who are hipsters, hustlers, and hackers. This is very important. If all of you are hackers, team will be really bad team to actually work with. So characters of a great team, I said hacker, hustlers, and hipsters. Shared value, you should have common vision, you should have shared value and complementary skills. If all of you are hackers, then it's a disastrous company. Okay, so we'll come up with how do you really try to fix your ideas. I'll tell you a few of the things. How do you filter out your ideas? Now, I've seen few of the teams have given 3 ideas. Few of the teams have given 4 ideas. Few of the teams have given 5 ideas. So how do you really filter out the ideas? That's what we learn in this few slides. So how do you filter out the ideas? So have different kinds of filter. First is personal filter. Next, you have something as business filter, external filter, execution filter. So 4 different filters you have to put. Personal filter, what do you mean by that? So personal filter is something which is personal for you and your team. Do you think it fits your personal goal? What can you really make this happen, and can it be fun while you're doing it? Is it too taxing for you? All those things you'll see and finally say that, hey, listen, these are my personal filters I've used and rest of them I'll leave. Next is business filter. Business filter is, can it attract business opportunities? Can it really, is it a painkiller? Some pain the customers are having. Are you killing that pain? And is the priority enough? And do you think the customers will buy it? Do you think customers will pay it, not just buy it? What do you have that others don't have? That's also very important. There's another thing known as, so two filters we have done. What is the third filter? Third filter is called as external filter. Do the people you need to convince get it? So this is, can you recruit the team you need? So many a times you do amazing thing, but you don't get a team where you can recruit. I've seen people who just go to some of the cities where, for example, Bombay is a very good city for business, but not for entrepreneurship, because the culture is not. But if you slightly shift to Pune, which is a neighboring city, it's really amazing city for entrepreneurship. Similarly, Bangalore is really, I mean, it's known as startup or Silicon Valley of India. So that's also amazing place to do entrepreneurship. But if you go to some remote place like maybe Tumkur is not really a great place for entrepreneurship, because you should get the right talent, you should get right investors, you should get right time for actually to do it. Next is execution filter. You have to put all these filters and see what did you miss, how did you assess overall risk. Make sure that you have your competitors, will they launch soon than you, and can you do it very fast and things like that. Okay, so based on this, you have to come up with the top 10. You have to rate them according to 10. How much do you, each one of you should do this exercise and come up that this is personal filter, business filter, external filter, execution filter. So I'm able to do this, then I think this is the right problem which we are trying to solve. Okay, now at least you have the problem which you can solve. One of the problem I'll take, okay, all of us in this class have mobile phones, smartphones, not just mobile phones. How much time I charge my mobile phone? I have iPhone, and I charge my mobile phone every day at least once. And if I really, and I get this anxiety that if it's like 20%, 25%, then I get the anxiety and I put the charging again. I'm sure all of you have that anxiety as well. So why do you need this kind of mobile phone which can really help you out such that you have a maximum battery package? So if you use more apps, if you use more internet, if you use more features of the mobile, then your battery will die. So this is one of the problem which many of us face. Can you solve this is the question. So these are some of the problems. So do the filtration process for your problems and see if it is the right problem to solve. If not, again pivot, again come up with a new idea, and then pivot and again apply the same steps. Right now, don't focus on technology. I have given you the warning in the last class also. Even in this class, don't focus on technology. Don't tell that I know blockchain, I know coding, I know microcontroller, I know ARM processor. No, this is not the time. I know power electronics, I know communication system. No, this is not the time when you think what's the technology. You have to ask yourself, why do you think this is a problem to solve? Ask 5 times why. For example, if somebody comes, I have sore throat, you ask why. Then he'll say, no, it's itching. You ask why. Then he will say, no, actually, I spoke for 2 hours in class. That's why I had this itching. Then you ask, why did you talk for 4 hours, 2 hours? Then like this, you keep on asking question, why, till you get the final answer. At least ask 5 times, you will definitely get the idea which you're supposed to solve. I'm sure all of you saw the video. You have done amazing comments. I'm really impressed with the way you have answered that video assignments. Most of you, I have evaluated maybe 150 or something students, 200 students. So it's really amazing way you have seen. One thing which I definitely want you to learn is try to say yes. The time you say no, questions will stop. Nothing is there to talk. So unless you say yes, you'll have multiple things. Ask why many times. You'll have the answer with you guys. Poll time. So you know how to access the poll, right? So let me go and shift my screen to polls. Where is my poll? Okay, let's start. You know how to answer the poll, right? It's all the time. Come on, guys. So go ahead and start the polls. You have to just go and scan this QR code on your system. It takes you a new application, that is UCLAB, the same, you know the code, the date of today's IFE date of today. You have to give your username, write your name, and then click on let's play. and you should be getting a screen, something like this. I'm not sure if you're able to see. Yeah, you're able to see my screen, right? So just go here and see 100 people have joined. Amazing. So we have maximum participants today. I see 350 people first time. That's good. Okay, 130 people. Come on, guys. Fast, 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 fast. It's super easy. I've already told you every class I'll be using the same tool unless if anything else. So it should be very fast, and we have really very less time for uh, because we it's 2 hours per week, so we should be very cautious. By the way, I'll be taking special class for you guys on one of the days next week, so please be ready. And it's additional class because we are little lagging in the syllabus as per plan. So if you want to finish all the things, you should be attending one special class, one or two over the semester. Okay, guys, have you joined? I see 208. What happened to the rest of them? We have 350 people, just 209 people. I am going to start, and then let's start with the first question. Very important question, which is related to your assignments, related to your assignment. So which logo or software you have used, which logo or design software on the website you have used? Really amazing. I was really impressed with all the kinds of, uh, okay, Canva. Wow. I was really impressed with the way you guys have created the logos. Very thoughtful, very thought provoking. So, if you have used multiple softwares, go ahead and put that. I was totally impressed the way you have created your logos. And I saw one team has actually put on the sketch written very nice logo, cleanly drawn, and they've uploaded that. That's really good. Okay, fast, guys. You are 200 plus people. Very slow typing. All of you should type as fast as possible. Yeah, Daniel, don't post it on the chat. There is, you have to go to wooclap.com/IFE 3009. That is 30th September, and you have to paste there rather than here. Nice. So I'll be creating some of the posters for you guys. So if anybody of you are interested to collaborate with me for this course, you have to just go ahead and do it. I am not sure what's the code for this course is. Just try IFE 3009. IFE 3009, IFE 3009. Okay, let's go to the next question. And the next question on the screen is, listen to this carefully before I pose the questions. All of you have selected one of the problem. I want to know which sector your problem or your idea falls into. Okay, very important. This is a nice photo to take. Let me take that. Yeah. Okay. So all of you have taken one of the sector to solve, right? Have you taken power and energy? Have you taken healthcare? Have you taken creative arts, edtech, education technology, fintech, finance technology, social enterprises, sports, media, enterprise software, tech push, like lab tech looking for market and others? Tech push is something you already have in your lab and you want to push it further. So please go ahead and answer. We have 100 answers. We need another 150 more. So let's know which one is dominating. Of course, healthcare, because right now we are in COVID-19 era. Obviously, should be solving healthcare, but related to that, I can see somebody is solving education technology. Right now, you're in class. There may be some problems attending my classes, some problem attending your other teachers' classes. That thing you can solve. So think about it. What problem you're trying to solve? We have 50 more people. I don't know why you guys are not answering very fast. So you have to just click on that and click on submit. If you don't submit, so you won't be able to do. 200 people, 244, amazing. We see that 29% of them are actually 29%, 30% of them are solving medtech. Second highest I see is others, which we need to know what are they. And agri-tech and food tech is 18%, and power and energy 15%, education technology 10%, social enterprises 10%. Amazing, amazing. Let's go to the next clap, which is the next question on your screen. Can you name a Google app or apps which you usually use? Can you name it? Any Google app? You can answer any number of questions, any number of Google apps you are using. YouTube, Google Forms, G Suite, Chrome. Right now we are using Chrome. Keep going, guys. We have 250 answers, but not all of you have answered. Keep going, keep going, keep answering it. I can show you in different ways. You want to see in grids? See, this is how it's looking. Google Lens, Google Map, Drive, Classroom, Google Music, Duo, or still using Duo, Google Maps, YouTube. Okay, I guess we have got enough answers. So let's go to the next one. And the next question on your screen, this is very difficult. I'm sure half of you won't answer that. What is the next one? Okay. The app which no more exists from Google. iFi. Okay. This was the last question. Google Plus. Does it not exist? Orkut. Yeah, I love it. Orkut. Yeah. Right answer. YouTube. YouTube does exist. Who said it doesn't exist? Hangouts. Yes, it's gone. It's gone. Instead of that, we have Google Meet. Great. Keep going. Keep going. Okay, we can stop now, I guess. What's up? University. Okay. Google's goggles. PUBG, TikTok. Okay. I didn't know PUBG and TikTok are from Google. Okay. I will tell you, see, I'm Googling one thing, which is known as Google Graveyard. Okay. All of you, you should really try what is Google Graveyard. There are two important website links, which I'll show you to you guys. And it's called Google Graveyard or Google Cemetery. Let's see what are those things. I have this Zoom tab here. Yeah. So look at this and see. These are few of the things which was killed by Google themselves. So one of the opportunity for you guys to dig out why these apps or why these things were killed, why these apps were deleted, why these things were deleted. What is the shelf life it had? Just 30 days ago, it was killed. If you see this one, this is 3 months ago. And the shelf life, if you see, it's for only 1 year, 2 year, 1 month, 2 months and things like that. There are so many apps which was killed. Chromebook Pixel is another one. Google Photos Print was another one. Password checkup extension. Lot of things. Google Hangouts. Many of us know that it got. Was almost 8-year-olds, but it killed recently. It was killed, and in December 2020, things will end of Google Hangouts. So just go through these things and see why it was not successful. They would have done amazing report. Check if you can take their technology and try to do solve those problems which Google didn't solve. Okay, this is another one. If you see, it's called Google Cemetery, Google Cloud Print, Google Hangouts. When is it going to end? The same thing. Google Bulletin is another one. Translator Toolkit, Google Clips, so on and so forth, right? So this is the time when you think if you are really doing something great, and should you go ahead and I'm just loading the slides again. Okay. So this is a time you should go and think about whether this is the right time to actually do something which Google actually killed it. You know, you're not software engineers. I know you're not from computer science, information science, but yeah, don't worry. It's all the things are same. So I'm sorry, we have to skip all the slides which we had already discussed. Meantime, if you have any questions, please post on chat window. I'm right now seeing the chat window. Okay. No questions? Are you guys listening? Okay, there is one reaction button, I guess. Can you guys see that in your screen? Okay, just click on something. Just go to your, participants, and then there are some reaction buttons there, which are nothing but maybe you can clap, you can put this symbol and things like that. In that way, I'll get to know that, oh, other than raise hand, I'll tell you when you have to do that. But if you click on that, I'll understand that you guys are really seeing and you guys are really here. Don't raise your hand, people. Yeah, this one, this, that, this, anything you want, you do that, so that I'll get to know you guys are here. You haven't slept in my class, so it's really tough to see because I'm not able to see any one of you. Fine. Okay, amazing. So let's go to the first step. You know, how many steps do we have in disciplined entrepreneurship? Can any one of you answer on the chat window? How many steps do we have in disciplined entrepreneurship? 24. Amazing. How many hours do we have in the day? 24. Amazing, amazing. Okay, stop, guys. You guys are really awesome. Okay, let's go to the 24 steps. We have just completed not even one step. We have just completed 0 step. Now it's the time for us to go to the first step. What is first step? First step is market segmentation. 420 steps. Oh God, Rahul, you're lost. You're not in my class. Okay, step 1. What is the first step? First step is market segmentation. Market segmentation is very important. What do you mean by market segmentation? Let's understand that. Remember this chart. By the end of the class, you have to by heart it. If I ask what is step 1, you should be able to. What is step 3? What domain it, or what is the thing where it will fit into? All these things you should, because this I'll be showing time and again, time and again. The snake and ladder, it looks like snake and ladder. Yeah, this I'll be showing it time and again. So this is like a where you'll start here and end of it, you want to see the treasure, you'll be seeing right here in this at the 24th step. Okay, market segmentation, very important. You know what's the difference between idea, technology, and passion? Idea is, just see the statements, I'll just read out. It's very self-explanatory, very interesting statements. Idea is, I want to start a company in Africa that will create a sustainable business model to improve life for the people there and empower them with the job. So you want to start a company in Africa where they'll get the jobs, because the unemployment is really high. Next is, what is a technology? I have a robo that allows you to feel objects rendered by computer. Okay, you can just feel the objects which is your computer is rendering. What is passion? I have a master's in mechanical engineering and I can quickly prototype most any technological gadget you want, almost any technological gadget you want. Now I want to put my skills to use in the most impactful way possible and be my own boss. Okay. Idea is someone who just gives, don't know if it is implemented or not. Technology is something you know and you can do anything you want, but you don't know if people will use or not. But if you combine both this idea and technology, you'll get something new will come, which is known as passion. You know things and you will put it in the most impactful way such that it will help your community. Okay. And then this is one of the exercise you guys have to do, okay, which is known as market segmentation. This will be the deliverable for you guys for the next week. Your assignment is here. I'm not sure, I'm not sure how many of you have attended my classes before. So if you are in my class, I will kill you with assignments. That's what people, my students say. But end of the semester, you'll have beautiful documents coming. I'll give you a ready-made template. You have to just use your brain and do it. You have to do little Google and fill those things. So these assignments, take it very seriously. Then you'll have really nice venture to pitch at the end of the semester. Okay. So what are these things? Very important. This step is known as your market segmentation. What is market segmentation is seeing the world through the eyes of customer, what you are trying to see, or seeing the world through the perspective of the company. What your company wants to do, nobody cares because it's only few group of people. But what the world what the eyes of your customers is seeing is very important. Okay, but both are important, but at the initial stage you should see in the eyes of customer. You should have that empathy. Remember design thinking we discussed in the last class, empathy is very important. Okay, so what do you think is the single necessary and sufficient condition for a business? If you want to make money, what do you think is the single necessary and sufficient condition for a business? All your answers on your chat. So people, please answer these things on the chat. Customers, okay, you are close your show. Innovation, sustain, passion. Any other answers? Second room, I'm not getting any answers. Are you guys there? Good idea. Product, need in the market, people, capital, business, supply and demand, threat, satisfying customers, belief, resources, necessity, consumers, thought, confidence, time, team, need, capital, market, quality, patience, supply and demand, customer satisfaction, opportunity, want and need. Amazing, amazing answers. Keep it going. Yeah. Life. Puneet says life. Knowing your business and customer needs at what place. Investment, skills, trust, profit. Great, 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 great. Keep on going. I'll tell you what the answer is. Single necessary and sufficient condition for a business is, the first answer what we got is right, but that is nothing but a paying customer. You have single necessary condition, which is paying customer. Motor, confidence, everything, all of you are right, but I feel that a paying customer, you have customer, fine, but if they're not ready to pay, then no. So single necessary condition for a person to do is for a successful entrepreneurship or successful business is paying customer. Okay, remember this. If your customer is not willing to pay, if they want everything for free, then it means that you're not a good entrepreneur. Your business is not really good business model, or you don't have a very good idea which you're trying to solve. Now, remember there is difference between customer and final end user. Okay, very, very subtle difference. I'll tell you by examples. You will really understand if I give you a couple of examples. Just read this definition. Who is my customer? Customer refers to the entity such as a household, organization, or individual who acquires and uses your product. Okay, it should be an entity. It can be a big business like BMSE can be a customer for some software developer, or household. It can be someone at the household, or a house, people in the house, or a house itself can be a customer. Organization, again, BMSC is organization. Individual like you, me, and everyone here are customers who pay. They should pay. They should acquire whatever they are trying to see and use your product. It's not just buy it and keep it. That's not a good customer. He's a very bad customer. Okay. Customer and end user aren't always same. Within the broad definition of customer, end user is who ultimately uses the product, whereas buyer is who makes the final decision to purchase your product. I'll give you a very nice example. Customer and end user can be the same person or different person depending on the situation. For example, I have a cute nephew who is actually maybe 7 years old, and whenever I go past to the market, he says, "I want to buy the toys." Okay, me and him, we are going together. Let's assume, and then if who is the customer here is the one that is my nephew. because he wants the toy. But who is the buyer here is me. I am paying for that. I am buyer. So whom should you satisfy? Is it the customer or the buyer? What do you think? Do you want to satisfy the customer or do you want to satisfy the buyer? Customer, buyer, customer, buyer, customer, buyer, customer. Okay, both. Yeah, I was looking for answer for both. You should satisfy both. If you satisfy, see, if my nephew is satisfied with the whatever the toy you are trying to sell, then it's really good. Okay, fine. He's satisfied because they don't have much. I'll give you another example because I'm from medical electronics. There are a few of my students also here. So in business, especially in medical device development, you try to sell something to the hospital. So here, if you see, the end user may be a hospital many of the times, yes, but few of the times you have end user as a doctor or the patient or maybe caregiver or nurse or anyone. So they are the end user. But who is the buyer here? The hospital is making investment. They are the buyers. If you come to BMSC, who is the end user? End user are students, end user are faculties. But if you see who is the customer, customer or the person who is paying money is who is paying money? BMSC is paying money. So it means that you should have multi-sided market. So there are two kinds of market here. So you should understand this very carefully. One of the market which we have is B2B market, which means that business to business. For example, BMSC to say one company, that's business to business. Okay. Whereas business to customer, which means that, for example, you're using Ola. Ola is business and you are customers. So business to customer, it's called B2C. Many a times there may be B2B2C. For example, Amazon. Amazon, there are vendors. So business to business, there are vendors. Say you have subscribed yourself in Amazon as a customer, you are customer. But from where Amazon is a business, another person who is selling the, for example, you're buying iPhone. So a person who is selling the iPhone on Amazon is one more person. Say some company, Apple. Apple is in Amazon. So Amazon and Apple are company and you are customer. So it's B2B2C. So that's called multi-sided market. Okay. Business to business is one more and business to customer is another one. Okay. There are three kinds of business, markets which you can see. Market segmentation. This is very important. Okay. Whenever you're doing market segmentation, you have to identify a multitude of markets that could be potential opportunities, markets with a problem that your product or service can solve. Remember, don't take any problems. Your ideas have reviewed. Few of the ideas are really amazing and very pressing problem you're trying to solve. But few ideas are very generic. You are just telling you will buy something and sell it something and things like that, which may not really work. So your idea, what you're trying to solve, should be a product or should be a service. One of them, not or both of them also, it's fine. For example, service, Amazon is a service, Uber, Ola is a service. Product, you're buying Apple. Apple sells product as well as service. Apple sells products and maybe something. You can give many examples of that kind, right? So identify what are your customer segments. Break this market into different segments. How do you do that? I'll give you some of the examples in my next slide. Okay, focus on end users, not customers. First, you should focus on end users. Once your end users is happy, then customers. But both of them, ultimately, if you want to have a good business, both of them should be there. Where is my, market segmentation. Very important. So just give me a second. So market segmentation. Segment your market correctly. So how can you segment your market based on geography, demography, and behavioral traits? What do you mean by this? Don't worry if you don't understand. Next slide we have in detail. Arrive at the value proposition of your product. What is value proposition? What is that important stuff you're giving? Why people prefer Amazon? The service which you're giving, A to Z service. You get anything you want in Amazon. So that's the value proposition. Why Amazon and the way they are actually trying to, sell the product in such a short duration, trying to ship it. You have Prime, which is they'll ship you in the same day or the next day. Bring out the offering that is dramatically better than the current options available in the market. Access the size and growth of appropriate market segment. Once you have established yourself in particular segment, you should be able to creep into adjacent segment. That particular segment is called beachhead market. That's your next step. We'll go to the next step later. I'll give you some of the examples. What are the market segments you should be targeting? If you know grofers, grofers is a grocery where working couple who has no time can buy groceries. If the same grofers goes to a village, it won't work, because village you don't expect both of them working couple. But if you're in the city like Bangalore, you have both of them working couple and you have to buy groceries. Indigo beachhead market. Indigo started, I guess, maybe 10, 15 years ago. Very short, very short duration they had in the market. You see, they are really performing very well. Forget about pandemic. Before that, Indigo was one of the airlines. I have taken maybe 100 flights of Indigo till now. Why? It's very cheap, very low cost airlines. There is no business and economy. Everything is economy. There are premium seats, but not business seats. The luxury is same throughout the flight. So they are targeting. So if you're really high profile customer, you have money to spend, then you go only to maybe Jet Airways, which they think it's a little, they have business as well as something else. IAM jobs, they give you only high profile jobs. This is very nice one, which is there in US. Facebook started only for Harvard students. Their customer was only Harvard. So you come up with your own Facebook only for BMSC students, maybe. Mercedes is only for high profile or corporate people. So like people who are normal people like you and me, even though if you own maybe starting car of Mercedes, correct me if I'm wrong, 40 lakhs is what you have to spend. And if you are 35 lakhs, something like that, even though you take hard cash 35 lakhs, they won't give you. They'll see your profile, what are you corporate and things like that, and they'll give you. They won't even give for test drive. Forget about selling the car. Pepperfry, remember Pepperfry doesn't exist in rural market. It's only for urban market. Behavioral furniture. And there was another company, one of you can type the companies. They used to actually spend, the company was, you can rent some furniture. Furlenco is a company where you can rent some furniture, keep it in your house. Rento Mojo, yeah. So these are the companies where you can just rent, use it, and after a few months you get bored and give it back and things like that. Flipkart and Amazon, both Flipkart and Amazon, they started with books and slowly they became one of the big giants in the market today. So market segmentation, how can you do market segmentation? Geography, demography, and behavioral. Geography, region, I told urban, rural. City, Bangalore-based company. Bangalore, we only serve for Bangalore market. If you are in Bangalore, you'll get our service. If not, you won't get. That's your first customer, I'm telling, or first few. Afterwards, you'll expand global. So market segmentation, you have to do different markets. That can be one of the way. Region-based can be only US-based, only India-based, and things like that. Demography, you say this is only for kids, this is only for adults, this is only for male, this is only for female, this is only for people, nuclear family, and things like that. And income can be, this is for higher income people. For example, Mercedes only for higher income people or something else. Occupation, you can tell this is only for business people. This is only for someone who are staying in apartments. They have their own some apps which they use. I'm sure many of you stay in apartments. There are some apps where all of them come together and pay your rent, everything through that app. And education, you are matriculate, you have this service, you have this. So based on that, you can do behavioral and benefit and attitude. So what is the benefit they are getting? Their behavior will change, their attitude will change if you give that. I'll give you one example. You are coming up with a company which is very much for fashion modeling. Okay, clothes company, especially for female clothes, you get a lot of things. For males, unfortunately, we have everything looks same for me. I don't know about others, but if you see all this behavioral or all this kind of behavior, if you see, if you are running a company which is for clothing, fashion, then it should be a female, because especially if you're working in that domain. Why? Because females know how you should dress, how you should do that. So if a male starts a company and no female partners, I'm sure it won't be success, because they don't have experience. They don't know how it works, right? So your market segmentation is very important. So think of all these questions: clear benefits, offering superior or differentiated. You are better than, why Amazon is better than Flipkart or way around, why you use eBay versus Amazon and things like that. And how large is the segment, how fast is it growing. Don't use the segment which is very small. Don't go and do something where only, say for example, there is someone who is having only apartment which has only two houses, so you don't call it apartment, right? So it's very small. So similarly, don't go to the segment which is very small, very niche. Go to a larger segment so that you can fastly grow. Oh, I didn't know I can expand myself. Okay. Next is target segments. As I told, social hierarchy: middle class, upper middle class, gender, women or male, and age 22 to 35 years. That's particular. And don't go by one single age. Don't say you're 20 years. This is very apt. Go for range always. Value proposition: renting, fashion, and go. I'll talk more about it. Need gap: share of offering, Western way 75%, ethnic way 25%, differentiated and superior offering. It can be 3 hours guaranteed delivery. That's your superior offering. You can segment your market that way. Backup options, high customer service experience like Amazon, what you have, and things like that. This is for the company like Flyro. Okay. One more thing you can do is environmental factors. You can check how to identify these environmental factors. For example, demographic factors, you can see, I know it's little lesser font, but area, age, jobs, and things like that. Technological factors. I mean, you give something really amazing app for people above 70 years to learn. You give amazing phone with amazing app and things like that. Will they be able to really use this kind of phone? Do they have that technology? So that's not the right market you should be targeting. Economic factors, especially if you're working in medtech, for example, medtech, if you say if you're working, you can't have something which is very very easy to do and things like that. The regulation strategies you should think, what are the legal factors. You can't come up with a device and start putting on the people and try taking a device or do some operations and things like that. You should get all the regulatory approvals. Do you have appetite, do you have time to bring that product outside is very important. But if you bring the product, the amount of profit you make is totally different. But do you really have the time is the question. And the next thing is you have one of the things is like socio cultural factors, very important. There are, if you see, I'll give you one very nice example. I'm not sure how many of you have been to Amritsar. Can you raise your hand or chat saying I went. So let me start off first. Me. So how many of you have gone to Amritsar? I went. I can see many of you have gone. Great, great. Okay, in Amritsar, there is McDonald's. Okay, what's specialty of McDonald's? Okay, the specialty of McDonald's in Amritsar is that in Amritsar they have vegetarian McDonald's. If you go to the right away, only in right in BMS College, same road, Bull Temple Road, and near Ashram, you have McDonald's. There, if you go, you get both veg and non-veg. But in Amritsar, if you see only veg, that's nothing but culture. That's what McDonald's thought and saw the culture. If you give non-veg, people want it. So we'll come up with a veg restaurant. Veg and McD doesn't go hand in hand, right? So that's something which you should be thinking. That's how you see all those factors. So whenever you're dividing your markets, you have to come up with at least 3 or 4 markets which you can target. So there are some questions you can ask before narrowing your targets. I gave you one of the method is by filtering for the ideas, right? I gave you some different 3, 4 filters, right? Technical filters and so on and so forth. So those 4 filters, but when you come to the market, how will you come up with the market? Is the target customer well funded is the first question you'll ask. Another question is the target customer readily accessible for your sales. You do something, but the target customer says he's somewhere else of the world, or they are not really interested in it. They say, yeah, we'll support you, but they won't be buying it for you. No, that's not okay. Narrow, does the target customer have compelling reason to buy is something. I mean, if yeah, how do you find this out? For example, I work with a lot of doctors, right? So when I ask them, I tell them, you give the problem, I'll try to solve it and give, which means that it makes them compulsion for them to actually try to solve those whatever solutions I'm trying to give. If not, if there is no compulsion, if there is a compromise, for example, jugaad, I gave you a lot of examples of jugaad, right? In case at your home, if your remote of your TV, I should be having right here, if my remote of my TV doesn't work, what do? I want to drain out the entire shell of my battery and then come up with my give complete possibility, right, of the battery. Once it drains out and it says, no, I don't have any energy, then you'll change your battery, right? That's nothing but it's something which there's a compelling reason for you to change it, right? If there is no compelling reason, if they think that it's compromise is okay, I'm getting for cheaper price, people will go for that. Okay, remember that. Can you today, with the help of partners, deliver the whole product? Do you have the vendors who can give you everything? If somebody asks, give me 100 products, are you ready? That's another question you should ask. It is entrenched competition that could block you. Is there any competition? Somebody is, maybe you'll come up with Ola is there, Uber is there, you'll combine both of them and you'll say Ola or Uber. So if you come up with that company, will you be able to have so many, you already have competition, is the right space for you to go? If you win the segment, can you leverage it to enter additional segments? So there is one primary market which you do, and then can you go into other market is something. Is the market consistent with the values, passion, and goals of the founding team? This is another important thing. So if you are in founding team, is the values consistent with the value, passion, and goals? So if you are not happy, if one of your teammate is not happy, that's not something which you should take. You should respect each of your team members. Okay, very important. I've seen, if you actually see that founders.com, which I gave you in the last class, most of you have completed assignment. I've seen that many of them have taken 40% of stake out of 4 people. That's really big stake which you're trying to claim. Do you really deserve that? Have you done? And there are few people who claim them as CEO, but down there is a comment saying CEO is not really stronger. So think these are the things you should be happy. All your team should be happy. Then only you'll be successful. If you see the pie, remember the entrepreneurship successful pie. Okay, so how do you do this primary market research? It's not done in the classroom. It's not something which you'll read and do it. You have to do using some of the surveys. How do you do that? Just, I mean, I want in this week, whenever you do this primary market survey, your problem, you take to people, frame some questions, float some Google form, put it on LinkedIn. You know, in my MIT class, when I did this, we actually posted, we were in different time zones, right? Not in India. So I posted in my LinkedIn in the night, and morning I get up, I had 120 responses all over world. So that's something which I want you guys to do. That's not a mandate. I know many of you are lazy to do that, but if you do that, that will be amazing. Create some of the forms. I posted one book in Canvas. It's called Talking to Human. Check that book. You will get to know how you should prepare your primary market research. So so somebody's asking, why can't we start anything in rural area? Yeah, you can go ahead and start, but for them, the way you do, you can't put a high price tag, you can't make money, but you should have a different target. So you are go ahead and do anywhere you want. You can do in any particular zone you want. So you have to just say, this is urban, this is rural, this is semi-urban, this is semi-rural. Have 4 different segments. You can do that. You have, go ahead and do that. And how do you do this primary market? Start with market matrix. I'll show you an example of market matrix. So this one, I have one. All these things are explanation. You can read it at your convenience. Yeah, this is the market matrix. Okay, I have filled. Yeah. So this is what I was looking at. Say, for example, how do you segment? This is like huge segmentation, really. Entertainment is one segmentation. Industrial design is another one. I'm not sure why you guys are not able to see the pointer, but I'm sure you can see entertainment on the top, industrial design, medical visualization, surgical simulation, microsurgery, and geophysical surgery, non-visual CHI, prototyping, virtual reality. These are different segments. Okay. I want at least each one of you to segment your market based on those things which I've taught in this class and come up with 4 segments at least. Okay, because you're 5 of you, brainstorm, have additional session, meet online, and then come up with 4 different targets. What are the things you should fill in those things? Who is your end user? You know who is the end user? It's the kid, not the parent who's buying it for them. Application, what are the applications you can think of? Benefits, what are the benefits they'll get as a customer? Who's the lead customer? Lead customer, identify some company. BMSC can be a lead customer. Ola, Uber can be, some restaurants can be lead customers. Some people who are going individual can be lead customers and things like that. Market characteristics, what is the market characteristic? Will they high price talent, or they have something like they don't really accept? If you see medical devices, it's not easily acceptable by doctors. They say that no, that's not really good for me, I don't want this very soon, and things like that. Players or partners, size of market, competition, platforms, and needs. These are the things you should be actually filling in. This is the template I'll be giving you to your guys, and you should be filling this. I want at least 4 market segments, more the merrier, but 4 market segments is what I'm looking at, right? The same thing explanation you want, here it is there. Who specifically fills, application, benefits, lead customer, market characteristics, player, complementary assets requirements, competition, things, so on and so forth. But don't spend too much of time. This 1 week is good enough to segment your market as far as this class is concerned. But in real life, you should be spending around 3 to 4 months maximum once you have all the surveys. Market segmentation is not just searching internet. I told you, you have to talk to people. Go talk to your parents, talk to your teachers, talk to your some random people who's walking around. Don't go and talk to them. But yeah, post it on Facebook, post it on LinkedIn, get some surveys, post it, tag me. I mean, people who are my friends. I have 5,000 friends on Facebook, so people can really check, and at least 100 people can answer your answers. Do all those things. For primary mistakes, you ask people question who give you the answer they don't think you're looking for. Don't give them direct questions. Whenever you form such kind of things, don't give them direct question. Do you like my idea? No, ask them properly. Your research is based on friends. Don't do only with friends. Ask some strangers also. Try to reach them, or ask, post it on LinkedIn, Twitter, all those things. You will get somebody to answer. Your sample size, say your sample size, you don't have at least 30, 40 people, then that's not really good sample. You ask 5 people and say, oh, this is something you really wanted to do. Bias is big culprit. What do I mean by bias is already all 5 of you in the team are biasing this is something really will work. No, that's a bias which you think it will work. You know, I'll tell you my example, the company which we were working with, when we proposed this, we did non-invasive blood glucose measurement. Very simple, right? You have glucose measurement, you prick it and then do it. What is the problem we thought was pricking is the problem. We thought the pain which people will actually try to look at. But when we did the survey, we realized that pricking is not really the problem because they prick 4 or 5 times a day, each diabetic patient. When they prick that, they're so used to pricking. When they're talking, they'll just take and prick it and there won't be any facial expression. Only people like me who hate needles will be actually trying to, have some of the problems and things like that. But that was not what was the problem is the embarrassment where you are in a meeting, you want to prick and then ooze the blood out and measure the blood glucose, and you don't know there is a cookies, there is a cake which comes in your table and you want to eat or not, you don't know because you don't know your sugar level. So we came up with non-invasive blood glucose measurement. That was the reason. That's not because of pricking. Pricking is not really the pain which people are looking at. Okay, this was about the first step, very important step, market segmentation, right? So I hope you have understood. You have to segment your market, put it in this table and submit it. This is your deliverable which you'll be doing. I'll give you additional work for today. This is very easy, but don't blindly fill it with your knowledge. Do the survey. You have to do the survey. What if the idea has only one market? An idea can't have only one market, which means that that's not really an idea. I'll tell you, let me complete beachhead market, then you'll understand what I'm trying to talk. Now, there is something known as focus. Very important thing for an entrepreneur when he's starting a new company, new venture is focus. If you don't do this, son, to become a great tennis player, you need to play tennis a lot. So what you do is you do shortcut. What is a shortcut? You try to play with 100 balls together and try to see that you can do all this kind of tennis playing. But ultimately you'll end up falling. You won't even hit even one. So you'll fail. So very important thing is focus is very important. If you are not focusing on one single problem, then one single market and problem, then you're a disaster. Okay. Now, in the previous step, that is step 1, you came up with 4 markets, right? 4 market segments. Assume you have filled the table, 4 markets. Now, the next step, you should come up with beachhead market. Very nice term. This is why I'll tell you why it's called beachhead market. When people came to actually, they came to, I guess, US somewhere to actually come and do some attack. What people when they do is they went to one of the near the beach side and they attacked a very small portion. Once that land became theirs, then slowly they encroached into the neighboring land. That's why it's called beachhead market. Okay. one of the market where you can easily capture, start making money, and then slowly creep into another market. For example, you start with BMSC. BMSC is one of the market, and slowly you can creep into other colleges, go to RV, go to Ramaya, go to IAC, go to something else. Then once this is one market you have captured, then go to schools, that is another market. Then if schools are done, then go to corporate companies, that's another market. So first market which you choose, which is low hanging fruit for you to crack, is something beachhead market. Why only one market? That's the reason I've shown you the tennis, right? If you play with multiple balls, you will fail. You should play only with one tennis ball, then you'll be successful. Person who chases two rabbits catches neither. Okay, if you're sailing in two boats, it's very tough. Once you crack how to sail in one boat, so easily you can jump into other boats and occupy all the boats, become a very good sailor. Okay, so once you do all these things, you have beachhead market selection. I will share this template also. You should come up with this, fill all these details, and if you don't know anything, refer the class slides. If you still are in confused, Google is your best friend. If you still are confused, attend the special CEO check-in sessions. We will discuss there. Okay. Beachhead market selection is a peeling of the onion. Why it's called peeling the onion is, once you have chosen a beachhead market to pursue, you will have to do good deal more sub-market segmentation. This is what we call as peeling of onion. So once you are focusing engineering colleges is the beachhead market, then you have to peel the onions further. Is it first year engineering, second engineer, third year, fourth year, final year, graduate students, master students, research scholars, things like that. Okay. How do you do that? Will buy the same product, similar sales process, word of mouth. Okay. And somebody is asking a question. Okay. Where do we get the recording of class? So recording of class are available on Canvas. I'm uploading on YouTube. Just go and Google Dr. Abhishek Appaji YouTube page. There I've created a separate series of this. Each class recording I'm putting it. Even this class recording I'll put it by tomorrow. So check all those things. And apart from that, go to your syllabus, check there are directly from Bill Olet. You can hear directly from Bill Olet. There are some courses which are offered in edX, which is open for you guys. You just go and register. You should be able to access all the videos. You won't get certificate, but at least the videos. They've given specific examples and all. We are running little fast because of crunch of time, but you will see proper things. Will buy same product is the other question which you are trying to ask. Ask that question. Similar sales process, the way you're taking sales process, you do to the same channel, that's your same market. Word of mouth exists. If there is no word of mouth, if BMSC takes, I'll go and tell RV. If RV takes, RV will tell Ramaya. Ramaya will tell IAC. IAC will tell BMSC. Like that, there should be word of mouth. Okay. What do you think is beachhead market for Amazon? So first time when Amazon started the beachhead market was book. They were actually a book company which started, and later now you see they have A to Z, which means A to Z. If you see the symbol, it starts from A and Z, A to Z, everything you will get a lot of things available on Amazon. Okay. Facebook, what was a beachhead market? Socially active undergrads at Harvard University. For computers, computers was first started for finance departments, not for somebody else. And now you see computer used for everything and anything in this world. Apple first beachhead market was desktop publishing market. They made page makers. If you see right now, page maker doesn't exist, but there is something known as InDesign by Adobe. So that's one of them. It's similar to PageMaker, but PageMaker was desktop publishing market. Apple started with that even before iTunes. And first cell phone was for people who were traveling from one place to another. Pages. I'm not sure if you know Pages. Pages was really amazing. I was of that generation. I'm sure few of you are from. So I used to call my dad, and I used to call some random lady of men. And I used to tell them, this is the number, please leave a message saying, come home soon, bring me burgers and things like that. And that she used to type and send the message. If I have to tell something confidential, I have to tell that person, and he or she used to send it. That was pager generation, and now we are in cell phone, smartphone generation. That was mainly for traveling sales people. That was done, and Amazon selling books was beachhead market. Okay, so you got to know, right? How do you find out market segmentation? How do you find out beachhead market? Fine. So the main slide I want you to look at is what I'd given one screenshot. How do you define it? Take one of the parameter: demographics, age, gender, age group, and so on and so forth. All these people you have to check. Okay, we have 20 more minutes, so let's cover one more step. What all steps we have covered? You can see, right, what all steps we have covered till now. How many steps we have covered? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hello guys, are you there? Okay, thank you Vinit for responding. We have covered 2 steps. First step is market segmentation. Second step is selecting a beachhead market, right? Now both of you are clear. Very simple steps, you know. Next is don't take the Volvo unless you have to, okay? Take only things whichever you are. Be very careful when you are doing it. So the next step is end user profile, and the next step is end user profile. Who is your end user? You remember toy, the baby is end user. In the hospital, patient is end user. In the college, students are end users. So beachhead market is right here. I can generally see them and describe them to you if they are not in completely clear focus. Okay. Why do you need end user profile? It should guide you right direction towards your ultimate goal of understanding your persona. Who is your persona? Persona is a person. For example, if you see, if you're doing something for student community, who is persona? You are persona. So I'm a student in the college, I am persona. One of the person whom you think who will be your end customer is persona. Persona should be a real person. Don't bring some fancy person saying he's persona, your imagination. It should be always a real person. Try to build persona. Without persona, I'm sure you won't be able to do a good job in this course. I'll give you some examples. This end user, there are two things: decision making unit and DMP, decision making process. That's also one of the steps. We'll talk about it in detail when the step comes. So there are few people in this decision making unit. We'll talk about it. It's called champion, primary, economic buyer, veto power. All these three people are important. How will you decide it? All those things. When the step of DMU comes, we'll talk about it. I'll give you an example profile of a customer profile. Okay. A gender, it should be a female. Age is around 21 to 28 years. Region is in Bangalore. Initial growth stage, and occupation is student or young professional. Social level is very high, very rich. Characteristics is has a smartphone, very important. User category, early adopter or tech savvy. If they're not tech savvy, we don't want old people, because 21 to 28 age is what we are looking at. Other anything else should be outgoing person, should be socially active. This is the customer profile. End user profile is how this looks. Okay. This is what you should be filling. I'll share this. This is only for your beachhead market. So what was the first step? Customer segmentation, divided into four segments, importantly. And second one is your after market segmentation. What is the second step? Do you guys remember? First segment is market segmentation. Second step is beachhead market, right? So in the beachhead market is the first market which you can capture and start making money. What is the third step is end user profile. For end user profile, you should come up and see here few of the things. Very nice. What is a watering hole? There is one term which is known as watering hole. You know, watering hole is a term where people usually gather. Okay, so if I target you, for example, student community, if I target one of the student community, it will watering hole for them is the college. College is the watering hole. Demographics is age, gender, income, job title, ethnicity, marital status, so on and so forth. Few of them for married, few of them for not married, few of them for something else, and things like that. Psychographics. Psychographics is how, what are their hobbies, what are their priorities, what are their personalities, habits, and so on and so forth. Proxy products, what are the other products they'll use? They are not using my app, but they're using some other app. What are the products which they'll use? Watering holes, what are the locations? What are the platforms which they are using? If, for example, if I do, I guess if I'm not wrong, say for Facebook, if I post something on Facebook, 5,000 people will see. Okay, which means that if I say I am actually using the product, then 5,000 people will see and they think that, oh, this product is really famous. Let me also use. That's nothing but watering holes. Day in the life. How do they describe their life? What are their priorities of their life? This is very important. Okay. The last step for today, which we'll be discussing in another 5-10 minutes, is total addressable market. Okay. TAM is total addressable market. TAM is total addressable market. This is the unit of TAM is dollars. The unit of TAM is rupees. It's not in terms of numbers. So this is for beachhead market, not for your entire world, entire global community. Beachhead market. If you're doing for BMSC, if you're doing for only engineering colleges, if you're doing only for Bangalore, if you're doing only for working professionals, that's your beachhead market before you creep into other markets. Okay, it will give you a sanity check, which means that are you going in right direction? If your beachhead market, if it is too less, it's not interesting. It's not worth solving. You can't make much money. If it is too big, then you won't be able to see the fruits very soon. If it is right enough, that's a sweet spot where you'll have cash flow and you can actually say that you are successful. Okay, so how do you calculate a beachhead market? Based on your end user profile, you will come up with a final TAM, that is TAM, by having some bottom up analysis. I'll give you the formula for TAM. Very simple formula: number of end users into average revenue per end user per year. Okay, remember this. Total addressable market is number of end users. So if I take BMSC, all students together, and I assume that I reach entire BMSC student community of 5,000 students, then number of end users for that particular year is 5,000. Average revenue per end user per year. For example, I give some tool where each user is using, end user, see, college is buying it here, not the student. For example, I buy a software for my students, all 5,000 people. So 5,000, each student will pay 100 rupees for that software. College is paying on behalf of you, college is paying. So 100 rupees into 5,000 users per month if you take, so it is 1,200 rupees. So 1,200 rupees into 5,000, that will be your TAM, total addressable market, for beachhead market. It's not for your entire global community. Understood? So don't think that it's small, big and all right this point of time. This is not vigorous exercise we are doing, but it will know how much your customers are willing to pay. Don't come up with really great idea. So whenever you're doing your solution, you tell that this is the idea we are solving. If I solve this, how much you are ready to pay? They'll say 5 rupees, 10 rupees, 20, 100, 2,000, 5,000, things like that. How much should be TAM? So this is for US. This value you have to equate it to Indian. Okay, there is a formula. You Google and find out how much will be good range. If you're doing 5 million per year, that is 50 lakhs dollars and things like that. It's so it's not really great. Too small. 100 million is good range. 1 billion is really great. You can't really achieve in beachhead market. Okay, so smaller, you have to do some analysis. It's a very small market. Try to see if you can increase your market, uh, broaden your beachhead market and things like that. So entrepreneurs often inflate the size of their market and expect market share. Usually the market will be smaller than you think. In BMSC, if 5,000 people are there, don't expect. See, edX, Coursera. I will come to that end of the class. So Coursera, today it ended. I mean, yesterday it ended and today is the last day for you to, I mean, yesterday was last day to enroll. But if you see, we had 5,000 licenses. We had 6,000 students, including research scholars, but only 4,000 licenses were there. So don't expect that if you offer it, everybody will take. No. Out of 5,000 students, take very strategically, think that how many people will take. Out of 5,000, maybe 3,000 will take. The rest 2,000 won't bother whatever you do it, right? Why calculate time? It will give you a sanity check. As I said, if it tell you if your product will work or not. Okay, don't spend too much time for calculating time, which you will have advanced time at the end of the class. Don't worry at this point of time right now. So you use top-down segments. So this graph also I'll share. There are 4 things which you have to do in this class. All of them are very easy if you have attended a class. Very don't scratch much of your head. You have to just understand the concept so that you can grow in this direction. Okay. The last step, which we'll spend in another 3 minutes, because I've already told you persona. Okay. What is persona? Persona is nothing but finance. See, you are making a product in your company. You'll have financial, legal, R&D, design, sales, and technical. For that, you should be referring. For that, you should be referring. All of you should be referring one particular person. Who is that person? I told if you are working for engineering college, the stake or end user will be a student. In that student, particularly, I'll see people who have chatted. Maybe Vaishnavi or Vignesh, Vineet, Santosh, Kritika, Srihari, Vignesh, Nishant, or one particular person. Arun, you are persona. Okay, don't come up with someone who is not at all a real person. I told you, persona should be real. Why is that? If all the people who are looking at it, they'll have single direction. That's why you need persona. If you don't make a persona, it will so happen, I'll be thinking, okay, this person is actually 50 years old. Another legal team will be thinking this is 20 years old. R&D team will be thinking he's 10 years old, he's a male. And one will be thinking female, and things like that. To make all of them think in the right direction, you need a persona. Okay, what is a persona? Persona is a person who best represents your primary end user or customer. Example of persona is Chuck Kirby, who is a facilities manager, 20K Blade server today, 15%, second generation American, lives in Medford, lives in Bangalore. Medford High to Middlesex Community College, moved to Winchester, family with 2 kids, one kid is 12 and 15, mid-career, been in job for 5 years, promotion path forward to manage more facilities, so on and so forth. You should get into details and put his history. He is a real person. But before putting it, ask that real person if he's okay to share. You can put a picture also. It must be a real person, be visual, understand all dimensions, err in start or side of too much detail and then take away. Priorities he should know. Watering holes, where do they actually go? If a person is actually, she's a housewife, they do a kitty party, that's their watering hole. If you're a working professional, your office is a watering hole and things like that. See this, very important. Read this, 2 of them very carefully. First one is data driven, one is story driven. Data driven, 795 million people without enough food. Developing countries 12.9, 3.1 million deaths for kid under 5, 66 million primary students, 3.2 million. Won't you give this to the cause? If you're raising a fund, you put all these things and ask them if they'll give you money. Second scenario I'll give, Raj Shah, 12-year-old, live in New Delhi, works morning and evening to support mother Anjali, who is sick with diabetes and still has to take care of her parents with limited mobility. Okay. His younger sister Tanya is 7. He is 12, she is 7. Going to school but is lethargic, has time to focus, hard time to focusing in school. Raj has barely eaten for 3 weeks. It is to the point that he does not get a meal the next 2 weeks. Like Raj, there are 66 million of people. Okay. Which one do you fund? Say you have money, you have 10 lakhs with you in your pocket and you have to give it to either first people you give or the second one you'll give. First one is telling that it's data. So many people are suffering and give this for the cause. And second one is telling Raj is a person and you give he has so and so and give the money. So will you give for first one or second one? You can type in your chat window. Story driven, perfect. Second one, right? That's the whole point I'm trying to say. Your persona will tell. If you put one person, make emotional people that this is what is the problem you're solving, then people will say. That's why you saw very important things in the last class also. I'll give you one more thing. Stop answering for the previous one. Problem A, having enough time to research and figure out the best strategy. And problem B is motivating people to understand. So, see, this is the profile of person. I want you to come up something like this. Meet Carolina. Carolina is 37-year-old Cuban American, lives in Lawrence, MA, Massachusetts with her family, has 2 children, Maria and Esteban, moved to US 10 years ago, works part came in at a coffee shop and things like that. So this is one persona. So all of them can imagine she is the one whom we are trying to solve her problem. Her priorities, what are that and things. See, Silvu is another one, 35-year-old, alternative channels, manager of small book, earns 2,500 euros per month, story, goals, needs, pain. So these are the things. So you can put your persona however you want and you can come up with the problem. So most average person is a persona. Don't take somebody who's really outlier, somebody who's very poor or very rich, and take someone who is really moderate, and maximum people can come in that range. Don't take someone who are in extremes. Okay. So let's summarize what we have learned today. How many steps did we discuss? 5 steps, right? Okay, let me Okay, here are the steps. So let me share the right screen for you guys. How many steps did we discuss? Guys, on the chat box, how many steps did we discuss? 5 steps, amazing. What are the steps? First one is market segmentation, beachhead market, end user profile, beachhead TAM size and persona. Let's understand what are these 5 steps. In summary, market segmentation. You have to segment your market into 4 different parts, a minimum of 4 different parts based on demography, based on male, female, based on a lot of other things. So 4 different parts you have to segment. That will be a first part of your assignments. How do you segment it? How do you come up with the segment? Is do some survey, talk to people, talk to 10 people, talk to 20 people, extrapolate the data and do some surveys, post on Facebook and things like that. Second thing is you'll come to beachhead market. What is beachhead market? The first market, low hanging fruit, which you'll target. For example, if you're doing for engineering colleges, first target which you have to target is BMS, I mean Bangalore based engineering college. That's your beachhead market. Beachhead market for Amazon was books. So things like that, that's your beachhead market. What is your third one? Third one is end user profile. What are the demographics of the entire your end user profile? How do they look? How do they do it and things like that? Next is TAM. TAM is number of end users into revenue, or the what is the cost which will be done for that particular customer in 1 year. That's your TAM. TAM should be very decent. It shouldn't be too less, too high. If it is too less, then the problem is it's not a real target market. You should be. If it is too high, you can't achieve your beachhead market success. Next is persona. Persona is a real person whom you will tell about it. Now understand the representation of each of them. Start here. This is your beachhead market. See, you have to make one map. Sorry, market segmentation. Beachhead market, you have to go and target. End user profile, you have to really zoom in and see if they're the right person. And next one is beachhead market TAM. Beachhead market TAM also you should be calculate the TAM. And then persona. Persona is a one single person whom you have to do it. Fine. So this is what I wanted to cover for today, and I will try to post your assignments, the templates which you are which you should fill. Refer this presentations. It has all the examples for what you want, and try to understand explanations of all those things. If you have any questions, watch the videos again of mine, or you can go and watch direct bill or let's video, or you can Google is your very best friend, very good teacher as of now. If you can't still find the answer, then I'll welcome you to join the informal CEO check-ins. Because few of you had not attended the class in the starting, I want to repeat this. Clean up your Canvas account, write your name properly, be interactive in Canvas, write discussion forum. I'll open up the discussion forum for today also after this class for this week. Grading will be done soon. If you have not completed, please complete it. I'll grade it soon. Any questions in Canvas assignments, help each other. If somebody poses a question, you can answer. Don't wait for me to answer. And we'll have special sessions, preferably on Saturday or Sunday, informal CEO check-ins. Any one of you can attend. And next week, we have guest faculty on IPR, then Michael Freeby, one of the professor and entrepreneur from Germany, and from Government of Karnataka, Startup Karnataka. Most importantly, please join the class on time so that you will get maximum benefit out of it. And now it's the time I stop sharing the screen, and this is the time where I allow you guys to actually ask questions. So If you have any questions, so you can go ahead, unmute your mic and then ask or put it on the chat windows. You have any questions, guys? Any questions? Soumya, you have any question? Avinash, go ahead and unmute yourself if you have any questions. Do we have, there are no questions? We have 3 more minutes before we close the class. Sir, will the course material will be shared? Yes, Savio, we are sharing everything, each and everything, all these recordings and everything will be sharing on the Canvas. So please check Canvas. If you're not joined, you can go. So what is the difference between customer and end user? As I told, if you take hospital industry right now, COVID-19, hospital industry, if you have, what is the difference between them? First is customer is someone, rather buyer and end user will call. End user is someone like patient is the end user who won't be paying money, but hospital will be buying your equipment, they'll be paying money. Coming to the kid and parent, kid will ask for toy, he is the end user, whereas buyer is someone who is paying, that is the parent is paying. So that's the difference between customer and end user. So and somebody is asking, you want to change the problem description, go ahead and do it. Now it's the time, because during your survey which you will be doing this week, you will be having a lot of things in your profile which you want to change and do it. And the next question is, sir, we have submitted the assignment on time, we can resubmit. If you want to change the logo, can we do it, sir? Don't worry about it, right now we have submitted. While your final presentation, you go and do whatever changes. In the next assignment, I'll give you one more provision for your, for every assignment I'll be asking your team name and what is the title of your project or the problem you're trying to solve. You can look also in that. Okay. Soumya, I'll mute you. Yeah. So, and all of you, please log in using BMS email ID. But in most cases, customers can be the end users. Yes, definitely. Many of the cases, both customers and end users can be same, but not all the cases. Bus, okay. Just a second. I want to take picture of the class. Mute yourself.